This is Eva Braun, Laura Ingraham, talking about something liberal media runs to protect DC Swamp. Gaetz and Bobert reveal McCarthy's concessions. This is after we've just watched them kind of like, we're all together, we're all for it, everybody's for all the same things. Either she, I don't know if she speaks to them or if she's just playing a tape, but either way, I'm excited. And also, I'm enjoying her like 1978 solid gold dancer eyeshadow choices. Solid gold, solid gold. It's gold, it's gold, it's gold, it's gold, it's gold, remember.
Sean Hannity here.
Right, no, that's not Sean Hannity. It's Laura Ingraham.
Describe, among others, my next two guests, both instrumental and
they're on. They're going to be on live, and I got to turn the audio up. Sorry, I don't know why it's down on this.
Gaining concessions from newly minted Speaker Kevin McCarthy. Joining us now.
Yeah, keep rolling the video past that point when he walks away, when Rogers jumps at him.
Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz, Colorado Congresswoman Lauren Bobert.
They're in our Freedom Lounge.
Great to see both of you. Congressman Gaetz, how confident are you that the concessions that you guys ended up winning are...
One. The single member motion to vacate. That's it. Everything else was already in the rules package. Oh, and his committee seats. I mean, I guess that's the thing.
Enforceable, and you can hold on to them for these next 2 years.
Especially if you're in jail.
Just moments ago, we passed the rules for the 118th Congress, and those included the enforcement mechanism of the one-member motion to vacate.
Right, which is the only thing that they actually got in those fucking 5 days of dick wagging.
Now, I don't anticipate that we'll ever have to use that, but it gives us the opportunity.
But it was worth fighting for, because what if I have to talk to these 5 assholes again to just throw the entire party under the bus?
To ensure that our goals regarding policy, procedure, and personnel are met.
The 3 Ps of pedophiles. I don't know what other words he might associate with.
We're going to have votes on term limits, balanced budgets, internal enforcement of our immigration laws. None of those things would have happened if we had caved on Monday. But by getting these concessions and coming to a stronger place, the House is in a stronger position.
Now,
yeah, a magic. And I just want to say that in my talent and swimsuit segments on the show, I'm going to play the violin with my knees.
here's how the Democrats are
Thank God she didn't ask Lauren Bobert the same question.
responding to the rules package just passed moments ago.
These rules are not a serious attempt at governing. They're essentially a ransom note to America from the extreme right. You're still empowering the extremists. Don't take my word for it. Let's go through their rules package. They're giving a single member the ability to remove the speaker at any time, letting a small far-right faction hold their leadership hostage.
Congresswoman,
Yeah, I mean, don't threaten me with a good time. Kabang.
fault.
Apparently, that's usually what the Democrats like to say. But this empower.
No. Oh dear. We don't give you that much credit. We don't think it's your fault. You don't do anything. You're just kind of noisy and kind of prickish. Honestly, think back. Everybody, think back. Other than maybe like her possibly wanting to bring a gun on the fucking floor of Congress that most of us were worried about. And again, most Democrats would be like, stay the fuck away from Nutcase. If she trips and falls, she's going to blow your foot off. And Gaetz is like, blow my foot? I'm into that, but only if I'm gacked on ecstasy and she's high school age. But anyways, notice that the most trouble she's actually caused, other than kind of yammering on the floor, the only thing materially she's fucked with that's gone anywhere is attacking her own party. Like, she sided with Republican bills and stuff. Of course she's going to. Who gives a fuck? That would be true if it was another Republican in the same fucking seat. But the one thing that she has done, where she's actually stirred some shit and been a problem, has been for her own party. The one time.
Powers every individual member of Congress, even the Democrats. That single member motion to vacate is for them as well. These single subject legislation pieces that we're going to see, this is something that we have in 47 state legislatures. To have it on a federal level is massive. So I'm proud that we took a few extra days to make sure that we get this right.
That was already in there.
It looked like chaos and dysfunction, but
yeah, it did. It was. I mean, the part where you told Marge to get the fuck out of your face. I enjoyed that part. That was fun.
I'm a mom of 4 boys. That's a part of my everyday life.
Yeah.
And really, last week.
And my husband, I mean, shows his dick to teenagers in bowling alleys. Like, I thought my boys were trouble.
Was the most productive week I have experienced in Congress.
People really.
That's ridiculous. Because you spent 5 days to vote on one thing.
Saw behind the curtain of what happens in Washington.
The fuck they did? What was all the whispering about?
Stuff that, I've been railing against for 25 years. These
Oh my God. You started that show when you're 1?
omnibus spending bills. Nobody knows what's in them.
Everybody knows what's in them if they give a shit. No Republican knows what's in them because they don't give a fuck.
It's just junk in the kitchen sink thrown in. Things that congressmen and senators don't want to be held accountable for. So you can't say you voted against border enforcement. What they say, Congressman Gaetz, is, oh, no, I just voted to keep the government open. That's essentially what they do, correct?
Well, and the whole sum of this.
No. That's not it at all. Because in most of the cases you're talking about, even in Democrats, it's better to say I voted for border enforcement as far as their voters are concerned than to say they voted to not fund the government.
Movement was to ensure that never.
By the way, the Democrats are already strategizing in ways to make every appropriation bill a material win for Democrats. Because of assholes like this holding out on each one of them just to be an asshole, you're going to need some Democratic votes to pass them. And they have to pass. So I don't care if they want to cut them or whatever. They've got to get some agreement. And they have to go to the Senate, come back and get passed for real. So there's only so much they can do. And they're going to use Democrats to do it. And Democrats will be able to prioritize stuff because these fuckos will just be able to go, I didn't vote for that whole bill. That whole section of the government can go fuck itself.
Never again would we be forced to take a vote on something like this omnibus legislation. And I actually think this
They've been voting on a CR of another omnibus for fucking years.
will make Kevin McCarthy stronger as a speaker.
Yeah, because he'll be doing what I tell him to do.
Negotiating with the Senate, he'll be able to say, I'm sorry, the House rules don't allow us to consider things that aren't germane or that don't comport to a single subject.
Yeah, and he won't even say, I'm sorry. He'll just say, fuck you.
Yeah, make it better. Now, the issue of
Yeah, make it better. It's better. It's good. Better is better.
defense spending, I brought this up several times last week. That's always treated as the sacred cow.
Yeah, fuck defense spending. It is time for Republicans to start cutting defense. But it's about time. It's real. This is their hill to die on.
Never touch defense spending, no matter how.
Never. Don't do it. Follow Laura Ingram's advice and do it.
How woke the Pentagon is, no matter how much scrutiny the Pentagon needs for its failures. We all support our men and women in uniform. But the idea that 55% of our discretionary budget can't be touched, those numbers don't add up with the cuts that you all want, correct? Unless you guys ultimately start.
Yes. Lauren Bobert, this is your life. You're about to agree to cuts in defense spending because Laura Ingraham is telling you to.
Start thinking about cutting parts of the military.
We're certainly going to have to look at a number of things.
Oh, we're certainly going to have to look at a number of things
to get this budget to
get this budget to blah 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 blah. Ladies and gentlemen, I think more than anything, it's how plain spoken the maggots are. You know what I mean?
What's the number of things? You can't get away with that on the show. What number of things?
Many things that we're going to look at, but defense is
That's the biggest number, isn't it?
It is. That is absolutely one of them, and we have a lot of defense hawks in the House of Representatives that are probably going to put up a fight for that. But we have to have a budget that actually balances, and that's what this
Congressman Gaetz.
No, you don't. You might be able to have it in a few years, and you might be able to have one years ago, and you might eventually be able to get to one as you pare stuff down, like a household could do. If you do it in one fell swoop, you can fuck up your entire financial picture.
It's on that.
Forward.
That's the defense issue. The hawks in the Republican Party and some of the Democrat Party are saying, no, 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 no. You can't touch that. I heard the comments even tonight. You can't touch the defense. You're being irresponsible with national security. The Wall Street Journal had a very powerful piece today. National security is at risk with what you guys did.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, this is how Democrats will have some leverage over Republicans, because people like Laura Ingraham are basically forcing Bobert and Gaetz and Perry and those assholes into a fucking corner where they can stomp their fucking feet. And not another dime for Ukraine. And everybody else is like, what the fuck's the matter with you? And they pass it without him.
I represent the district that has the highest concentration of active duty military in the country, and we can defend this country and project power more efficiently and more effectively than we do. President Trump was the first.
Yeah, the first thing you would do is eliminate personnel and replace them with machines. Honestly, welcome to your drone future, members of Matt Gaetz's district.
President to demand an audit of the Pentagon, and they couldn't pass it.
He didn't cut defense.
Well, we got
That's because they have to drop their pants in front of Russia and China. Are you stupid?
an audit so we show where they fail to actually deliver on some of the authorities. And how about we start with Ukraine before we reduce?
Oh my God.
Oh my God, fucking Ukraine, am I right? When are we even going to do that, by the way? Like Angus King, we looked at this video, I think day before yesterday, already went there and went through the review process. They will do this, by the way. They'll do it, and they'll have to do it behind closed doors. But when they do, they're going to have to, this is the fun part, as annoying and awful as this is, they're going to have to come out and go, they're taking really good care of the money. And it's going to drive them fucking batshit.
Before we reduce what we do for our troops, I think it's a pretty easy case to make that some of this money that we send to Ukraine without requisite accountability should be the first place for reduction.
First of all, the idea that there's no requisite accountability, citation needed, fucko.
All right,
it's a war.
To play this video. This was the real dramatic video on Friday night. So we were live 10 to 11, and all this stuff was happening an hour and minutes after we got off the air. This is one of the most talked about moments. McCarthy comes over toward you. You see it gets heated. Lauren, is that you right next to us? Yeah, there are you.
No, it's the other one.
Now, Fox News reported that you appeared to...
By the way, there's Luna up there. She's like, why does she get to sit? What the fucking hell? Why is she... I'm sitting next to Biggs? What the fuck?
Now the word committee during this exchange. I guess you had a lip reader. Congressman, the world wants to know what was said here. Come on, this is a pivotal moment. What was said?
Well, this was a matter of timing, and those of us who had withheld our support for Speaker McCarthy
and continue to
wanted to move as a group. We thought it could be a unifying moment. I'm glad that, to Speaker McCarthy's great credit, in the final moments he made the requisite concessions to bring our team together and put us in a great position to do what we did tonight, vote to get rid of 87,000 IRS agents.
Which didn't do anything.
So I think that, the imperial speakership is over. Nancy Pelosi will be the last imperial speaker because now we're going to unlock the potential in all the members, and I'm glad that Speaker McCarthy...
Yes, tyranny of the individual.
McCarthy saw it that way.
Now, I also saw that you both were talking to various Democrats during the process, and you especially were talking to Congresswoman Jayapal and others. Was there any thought of a deal with Democrats during this process, ever?
Absolutely
No.
not. I was actually...
You look pretty cozy talking to the Democrats. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, they're fun people, just like Republicans.
If you want to know what I was talking with Congresswoman Jayapal...
Yeah, they're fun people.
...about, it was about the big tech legislation that I supported with her to break up these companies. And we were talking about, during Republican control, could we get those bills to the floor
Right.
that Nancy Pelosi wouldn't bring to the floor while her husband was trading big tech stocks?
Could you work with some people on the left?
By the way, that's not what he was talking about with her I call bullshit.
On some of these issues, Congresswoman Bobert, because, you guys are vilified.
They were trying to make sure that Democrats weren't going to step outside and fuck the vote.
Right.
People were tough on you last week. I was kind of tough on you last week, but there are a lot of great things that were done because of what you guys...
Nothing. One change.
Did to hold out on this stuff.
One change.
So could you guys work together?
One.
Together.
I believe that the Congress is going to be much stronger than it was going into this, the Republican Party, and we will be able to work with some Democrats.
Good.
There were many Democrats who campaigned on conservative values, and I want to hold them to it. They were talking about securing a border and reducing inflation and energy independence even, and this was a battle in a lot of elections that we were seeing. So I want to hold them to those promises and bring them into the committee.
While warring with members of my own party. What could possibly go wrong?
And have these discussions to actually move things forward.
That would be
and get
ironic.
Yeah, let's move things and make America doing the things that are good for as a country. And I feel like these commitments are the kind of situations where we find ourselves in where we're going to have to look at what's really important, and the American people know this.
Back on track.
Yeah, that would be ironic if it were more bipartisan as a result of all this.
Right.
Well,
Uh-huh. Yeah, it would be. Because the bipartisanship, look at Fumfer over here. The reason why it would be ironic is because that will, like moderate or conservative, allegedly conservative Democrats in the House will be their workaround in getting some stuff passed to get it going. That'll be their way of sidestepping these assholes. Ugh, it's going to be so good. Like I said, there will not be enough popcorn for 2023.